Yeah, good evening. So it's Accra here, and this is the Woketrader. So here we're analyzing GBPJPY from the monthly time frame because we're already in a new month. The new month is the month of May. So from what we can see in price here now, what we can see here is the previous month close as a bullish candle. This bullish candle here, this is the monthly. Try to negate whatever is happening in the left side. Just deal with the current price action here. So from the current price action here, what we can see here is okay, the month of what's it called? The month of January here was taken the law of the month of January was taken out by the month of February, which is this which there is no G candle at this end here. Took out the low, then took out the high also. As you can see at this end now, took out the high also. So from that price, we don't have anything to do with that end. I just need to reference what's happening that we are still kind of like bullish in a bullish trend. So from this low now, this low has not been taken off. Let me just check on that. This low, we still have this low. Sorry, you, we still have this low which has not been taken out. This low, and we have this high. I'm just trying to map out like a monthly range, like the range you are going to be working with if you are trying to trade from the monthly perspective. But we can try to like leave this place and let our range to be this low here, possibly this low here. We are working with this range in the monthly time. So what we can see here is this is the last month candle, the month of April. This candle here, this candle, I try to highlight this candle here. That's the last month candle. This candle in the middle here. So that's the month of April. So the month of April came down a little bit here, then went up. Didn't manage to like close above or didn't close above, then went back down and directly close at this point. But we still have something like a body to body close on the monthly time frame here. We have a body to body close here on the monthly time frame. So what we can possibly see here is possibly GG might see like on GJ what should be expecting possibly is though this month has already started, we can be expecting something like this. The price already came to this low. So as price came here now, we should be expecting something like this. To take out this primary draw on liquidity. Then possibly before maybe coming down because if we look to the left here, looking to the left here, we see that we have a stumbling block that price might react to just a price action from I think 2008. Yeah. So we have this fair value gap here at this point. We have this fair value gap. The price might possibly, yeah, I think price is already in that area actually, but you might still be waiting for it to get into the consequent encroachment of the heavy before maybe possibly seeing a downside price action, like a bearish price action on GJ. Though we saw something like a an aggressive sell that happened last month, the ending of last month, we saw the aggressive sell that happened. So let's just on the monthly time frame now. I don't have anything, any other information to work with now. This is the only thing we can see. We have a body to body close, and this might be our draw, ultimately primary draw on liquidity. So we can now move down to the weekly time frame. So from the weekly time frame perspective now, we can still see some things we can possibly work with here. So we can see that strip of liquidity that happened on the monthly time frame here is a break stop. Okay, I'm talking about this. I think I did mention it earlier. This sweep that happened on this monthly time frame now. So when we get to the weekly time frame perspective now, is a clear break of structure in the weekly time frame. So from this weekly time frame now, another thing we can spot out is price is reacting, has already tapped into this other block here on the weekly time frame, which was where the aggressive sell that happened. This was the point of interest it tapped into. Then it reacted. Can you see? We saw a rejection above. We saw a rejection from that from that aggressive sell. We saw that price went back up, went back up. But another thing you can still see is that aggressive sell that happened kind of sweep the eye of this candle here before. Let me just remove this. Okay, let me just still leave it at this point here. Let me just leave it. So you can still okay. This will be our ultimate primary draw on liquidity. Let me just mark it as like undisturbed draw on liquidity. So that will be our undisturbed draw on liquidity. Primary draw on liquidity by the one. It's the monthly primary draw on liquidity. So what we are looking here now is this. I'm looking at this last candle, this last bearish candle that happened now. The kind of price action pattern that played out in this candle that we are looking at, this bearish candle here. It tap into before tapping into this other block, it swept the eye first, then come in here and tap into this other block. So what we can relatively be expecting, since we are expecting price to come back here to take out this primary draw liquidity, is for price to possibly come okay, maybe it has pick the sweep the liquidity or take any grab any liquidity that I wanted to grab it. So price might just went just came up come up here and take whatever just to clear out our draw on liquidity, or possibly we might see something like this happen next week, something like this, or just we can just go straight to the point like this, something like this, heading for our draw on liquidity straight. So these are the kind of scenario that could possibly play out. Just try to like trade in a way that if this doesn't show up, then you move to another phase. So possibly now the way I trade possibly is just like, see, since I'm looking for a bullish, I'm still bullish on GJ now. Till this uh monthly primary draw liquidity is taken out, I'm still bullish. But at the same time, if my price action or market structure say otherwise, that okay, market structure says they are not bullish, they are bearish. So I'm joining the bearish trend, by the way. So I'm not trying to like predict the market, I'm just trying to react to whatever market tells me or I see the market goes. Just have to like react, don't try to predict. So from the now we are scaling down to the daily time frame. So from the daily time frame now, we can see that we can narrow down the order block to this point here, this last candle before the impulsive move. That break structure to the upside, this internal break of structure to the upside. So yeah, you can see now this a break of structure here. We also have this larger break of structure also. At this point, break of structure here also. This is the larger picture, the main structure, by the way. This like let me say, did I call this substructure? Let's say it will be a substructure. This is why this is the main structure. Can you see? Because this is the leg of the price action here that you can possibly see here is price from this low now created a high, come down here created a lower high, then price went up here to create what, another lower high, then be expecting another lower, created another higher high, then price created another lower high here, then we might be expecting price to create another higher high again. So as you can see now, so that means this shows that the current trend is bullish, that until market structure says otherwise. So from the daily time frame, we narrow down this other block to this point here on the daily time frame. Now on the daily time frame, we don't have much to work with on the daily time frame here, but we can see that that sweep I was talking about here now. You can see the what happened. I'm trying to mark out what happened here. You can see that there is like a strip of this let me just remove this. A strip of this high before the first candle now come down and tap into this other block. So what we might be expecting is price might not reach this our undisturbed draw liquidity, this primary draw, the monthly primary draw liquidity. What price might just do in this instance is possibly, you get, possibly. I'm not trying to be on matter with you. It's just like okay, price react from here, then you know they are still technically still bullish. Price might reach this point, then possibly just change character. If price give us a change of character here, then we can now sell down, you know, sell down from this point. But if price should break above this low, they are still what? They are still buying. That means this is scenario one and this is scenario two. Scenario two is price coming from this point here, then reacting this way. Price doesn't move in a straight pattern, then just coming maybe react a little bit, then close above this, and then what? We buy until price reach this consequent encroachment. So if price reach this consequent encroachment of this monthly LEG, I might be a little bit skeptical about taking any other buy till I see price invalidating this consequent encroachment. No, invalidating this FEG by the way. Shey you get? Because from this consequent encroachment, if price do something like this, from this consequent encroachment do something like this, then give me a change of character and I be selling down, and I be selling down to this point. I'm just giving an if this then that scenario, so you understand. Just try to like react to what market is doing by the way. So from this daily time frame, this is what we can narrow down from this daily time frame now. So we can try to like mark out our range, trading range on the daily time frame here. Our trading range will be this from this high here, from this high, from this high to this low. That will be our trading range. Because price is currently in this area. Price is currently inside this zone at the moment. Price is currently inside this zone at the moment. So this will be my trading range for now on the daily time frame. Now we can now scale down to the 4 hour. That's where we try to like okay start formulating our trade idea or possibly our setup if you are a swing trader. And we can also like narrow down our supply zone from the daily time frame and supply zone we mark out here now can now be narrowed down to this extreme other block here. Just like everything has to be narrowed down. Hmm, this one now. I just try to like remove this and try to like withdraw. You know, everything has to be narrowed down. This still remain our trading range on that one. I'm just trying to like narrow it down to something I could possibly like visualize on this loop. That's our trading range by the way. So from this point on the 4 hour, what I can see is price is not something clear at this point in time, but what I can see is we have this current from this current price now. We have this sweep above here. Then price possibly after this sweep created this bearish candle that comes to this area here. Possibly if we try to check the lower type, you might see something like a point of interest at this end. The price react again, went up back. So by next week now, before I could take any trade is any buy trade, I must see something like okay, this place has already been restricted. This supply on the power that was created after that liquidity sweep has been mitigated. Yeah, it has been mitigated. I think. It has been mitigated. Yes, it has been mitigated. So what I can be looking at this point is price breaking above this high, price price coming above this high before I could take like validate my buy trade from this point like this. Price coming above this high for me to like validate my buy, then buy to this possibly this supply zone or just this undisturbed ground liquidity, take out that monthly undisturbed ground liquidity. But we still have this we wouldn't negate this supply zone that is there because we have a ship of liquidity before price created the supply zone. You understand that? So we wouldn't want to negate that kind of price action because we have a consolidation before the large downward movement. So we won't negate this one. So another thing we can wait for is waiting for price to come above this high, like price coming above this high like this before we can now find our buy confirmation entry before taking the buy from this point here now. So from the 1 hour, let's see what the 1 hour is saying. From the 1 hour perspective now is we have to still narrow down our point of interest and support. So this one now will narrow it down to the last bullish candle before the downward movement. That's my this is my supply zone. So this undisturbed ground liquidity still remains there. Yes, yes, there is no reason why this. And this one, our trading range still remains here. Okay. So what here, as you can see now, what I was talking about, you see there is other block at this point. A point of interest that price came into before reacting and starting to do supply zone and then reacting down here. So you might see price, once price close above this high, this revenue, I might wait for price to close above this last high here before taking any buy trade or this place. If I see a strong momentum in the candle that break above and I stick the buy in this place here, if the candle has a higher momentum from this place, I might just take my buy from this area here. Then you know, just ride the wave till we take out this undisturbed ground liquidity or possibly react from this supply zone here. But possibly we might take out on this undisturbed ground liquidity. So this is what I have on DJ for this week, and possibly this is what I have for this week here. This might be what might be working this week, throughout this week. Though I do the trade GG by the way, so my day-to-day trading is me mapping out there a lot of things that I have to like take into consideration before taking my trade, like the shape of the Asia eye, but not necessarily shape of the Asia eye or low, but not all the time. That price that I have to wait for the tip before I take my trade most time. But it's part of it, part of what's giving me the confidence of being in a trade. Part of the thing that the criteria I try to look at before taking a trade. So the Asia session shape of the eye or low, then a strong break, then a retest, and ride the wave to the undisturbed draw on liquidity or any liquidity points that price might necessarily like react from. Yes, so just try to like put your trading in a way that you react, not predict. So you get so this kind of thing now. I might try to like I might not later buy throughout this week. I might be taking sales. Depend on what the price action presents. That's what I think. So thank you very much. We'll be doing more of this very soon. And I'll be updating you guys on my YouTube channel very soon. And possibly be posting